All right, happy Saturday to you guys. You know, sometimes things just don't work out very well when you're decaling a car. And that is what has happened with this Ryan Sieg 2021 number 39A game. I'm not really sure what happened. The decals just flaked on me. And what you have, if you can see this A pillar here, kind of pieced some things together as it cracked and broke on me. And yeah, it's not good. I can clean this a little bit up here, cut this off. But yeah, you know, sometimes the decals are brittle for whatever reason. I have no idea. You know, sometimes the silk ink decals are really good and there's no problems. Most of the time that's the case. But for whatever reason, sometimes they become problematic like this. And just this area. So I didn't have any really problems with other areas. But yeah, this is going to be less than perfect. So sometimes you make a dud, and that's what happens. It's way less than my expectations of a high quality die cast when the A pillar looks like that. So kind of disappointed, but yeah, I'm not really sure what to do. I can't really like paint that area, try to color match this yellow. I had the black background removed, of course, but just trying to do well on the rest of the car, and hopefully won't have a repeat. Now, one thought about what may have happened is sometimes with the silk ink decals, if you cut into the decal, like to trim it down, it seems to kind of maybe compromise it a little bit. So, for example, like on this side, I took care not to cut into the yellow. You see how I left a little bit more of the decal there along the edge, and I didn't actually cut into the yellow or try to cut as close as I could to it. I'm hoping it stays together now, because it does seem that there are times if you cut into the decal, kind of like what I had to do with this trunk piece, because the trunk piece is so large, I had to cut into it, so it's when I go to lay it down, it'll be interesting if it stays intact and doesn't, like, you know, shed little corners and areas to it, as well as this the rear bumper decal, which is way too wide. So when I go to put this guy on, it's still too wide. I'm probably gonna have to fold it over, or just maybe try to trim the edges after it dries. I don't know. But yeah, sometimes you know, that's what happens with the decal set when you're trimming it up and trying to get it on the car. So yeah. All right, so while that wets, a couple guys had asked about decals for sale, and I want to show you what I got. So Mr. Elmer, I've got these truck decals. If you're interested, there's a 2015, I think this may be a Casey Kane. Yeah, Casey Kane. This is a number 0. Trying to think, there's no tag on it. I'm not sure who the driver is. I don't recall. 2014. Can't be a Matt Tift. I don't know. Kyle Larson, 00, 2015. I've got the last one of the Tim Vaines Trump 2020, number 83. Kinzer, number 46 Centric, 2020. Kyle Busch, $51 General, Chicago win, 2013. Then some fantasy schemes. Skittles, sour Skittles. It's a lime green truck. There's a black one. Sweet Heat Skittles. Number 51 Kyle Busch. And then another one, which is really cool. I really like this paint scheme. It's a Kyle Busch Monster, Pink Monster. And then this 2019 Brett Moffitt, number 24. Midnight Moon Moonshine. Yeah, so those are the truck decals I have. Mr. David, let me open this up here and see if I can. So you had asked about all the different Chevy Cup decals I may have. Let's see if I can show you here out of my little box what I've got. So the Chevy body was the same. Chevy SS from 2013 to 2017. So these are the ones that I have. Let me just pull this out here. Maybe this is... Yeah, that's probably close enough. So you can see here what I've got. Chevys, and that's just a mix, right? So from 2013 to 2017, these are the ones that I have. It's a Toyota. It's a Chevy. So yeah, sometimes it's easier for me to just do a video and show you what I've got. There's a Ty Dillon 2015. Kyle Larson. Michael Annette. It's a Newman. Another Newman. Ooh, there's a Kurt Busch Monster. Reed Sorensen, Holland Bass. Oh, got more Blaney ones than I thought. Ty Dillon, Death Wish Coffee. Clint Boyer. Camrys in here. There's some AJ Allmendinger, Kroger, Ralph's, Chevys, 2016s. Michael McDowell, K-Love, Fire Department of New York Foundation. Oh, Jeff Earnhardt, number 33. Jeffrey. No sponsor. It's interesting. Another Ty Dillon. Twisted. T. Oh yeah, and then these are 2018. So that's a different body style there. So that gives you an idea of what I got there, David, for Cup decals. So yeah. All right, let's see if we can move these on. See if we can do a better job on this other side. It's a Microsol here. Almost out. I'm going to have to order another bottle. Yeah. can see it's already splintering a little bit. Oh man. This decal set's not that great. Like I said, most decal sets I have are solid from Pato, but this particular one is a pain. Again, maybe I just cut too close to it, but we'll do our best and see what happens here. Well, something on that side of that car. Yeah, it overhangs a little bit on the front, and that's fine. I'll just trim that off later. But yeah. So yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. I've had a fairly hectic week is trying to get some things done with my vehicles, and that just sucks my spare time, which impacts my hobby. So yeah, told you that story many times. It's only 24 hours in a day. Got to eat, sleep, and work. So and I am one that does my own maintenance on my cars, and I'm pretty regimented, religious about that. So when it's time to change the oil or wash and wax it and all that stuff, I gotta get it done. So okay, it's starting to now get soft here. Told you how I like these silking decals, but they do take a little bit of extra time softening up and being able to be conforming to the body. They're just a little stiffer. They take a little bit longer. So a lot has been said about the Coca-Cola 600. I have to say, guys, it was a good race. I enjoyed it. I watched pretty much the whole thing on Monday, and yeah, William Byron, I thought was gonna I thought give Ryan Blaney a challenge, a run for his money there at the end, but alas, Blaney kind of ran away with it. So good for him. It was kind of one of those feel-good wins. He's a good guy, and everybody seems to like him. Not that they're big fans of his, but he seems to be a likable guy and humble guy for maybe in comparison. I'm not sure any of those drivers are humble. To be there, you gotta have a moxie about you that is quite strong in order to do that racing, I think. But of the drivers, I think he's one of the more humble, likable guys. As compared to others that may just have a personality that just completely rubs NASCAR fans the wrong way, if you know who I'm talking about. Alright, so at least this isn't falling apart in a disaster fashion like the other side. It's not perfect, but yeah, maybe that's the thing, guys, is when you're trimming the decals on these silk ink decals, you don't cut into the decal, you leave extra space. And you can see this side where I had that, I didn't cut right up against the decal. It stayed intact. Where on this, well, it's really here, where I cut out this area here by the windshield. It's splintered there and there. So and the fact that this is a serious overhang here. I'll just come back later and trim that off once it dries. The important thing I'm trying to do here is to get this soft and to get this top edge here to kind of fold over onto the roof and to be smooth across there. Ideally it would be a seamless look, but it's not going to be seamless. Again, you hear me talk about this tri-state area. You got the hood decal, you got this decal I just put on, and then there was a decal across that for the front bumper and the headlights that comes over here. And they all kind of come together right here, and it's difficult to get that to look nice. Okay. Not too bad. Here's a little yellow piece there. All right, so what's coming? So Sergio, I'm going to try to knock these out for you this weekend, and get both the Chastain here and the Hamlin one done. And maybe if I'm on top of things, I can get them done and have them ready to ship out on Monday. Somebody asked a question about what color I used for this red Coca-Cola car, and this is just the Rust-Oleum High Performance Red. And yeah, I mean it's my best solid red color. That's just the standard solid red color, and so the Coca-Cola cars I do are using that that color. I'm also building this Kyle Busch Doosan. You'll see one of those here soon. Probably going to build one and put it up on eBay. If I can get it done, I'll get it done tomorrow. Put it up on eBay tomorrow. But yeah, trying to get back into things, guys. Where was I going to go next? So I put together those other Overwatch cars here. So just need to JB weld them, and they'll be ready to continue on with my experiment of using the different sealers. I've got the Quick Shine, the Pledge Floor Care, and the Mop. Is it Mop and Glow? So that'll be interesting. I'll hope to show you that here in the next week. All right, let's finish with a verse. And this one is, oh boy, this is super easy, super short. Gain to me, loss for Christ. Verse number 59. Started memorizing this verse July 12th, 1999. And it's Philippians 3 and verse 7. Gain to me, loss for Christ. Philippians 3:7. But what things were gained to me, those I counted loss for Christ. Just going to think about that for a second. This is the Apostle Paul writing to the church at Philippi. And he said, but what things were gained to me, those I counted loss for Christ. Interesting. I wonder what he really had. His birthright, his lineage, his position, the power that he had, maybe the wealth that he had. All those things that were gain to him, he viewed, he counted, they were actually a loss for Christ. So those things that puffed him up and gave him that position and prestige in this world didn't have any eternal spiritual value. You know, I'm reminded of what John the Baptist said. When Jesus came on the scene, John the Baptist said, he must increase, I must decrease. So John the Baptist had a ministry, and he was popular out in the desert, remote areas, preaching, baptizing. But when Jesus came on the scene, he recognized that the spotlight being on him needed to go away. And Paul was viewing his life similar, that even though he was a messenger of the gospel, anything that promoted himself wasn't of any value. And he needed to focus on magnifying Jesus Christ in his life. And that, ultimately, for eternity, would be gain to Paul. So how about us, right? How about me? How about you? What are we pursuing after that just is a gain to us and doesn't really have any value in God's eyes? Maybe that ought not be our focus in life. So, interesting thoughts and perspective from the Word of God. Philippians 3 and verse 7. All right, guys, God bless. We'll talk to you in the next video. Take care.